I don't see the notification yet. There we go. Hey, looks like we're live. Welcome, everyone to another amazing episode, an edition of Parent Power Hour. We are here, and I apologize, Cindy, that I did not ask you to pronounce your last name for me. I'm assuming that it's Cindy Sjoquist, but I don't want to be wrong. So could you please tell me the correct pronunciation of your last name? Can you hear me? Am I heard? Nope, I understand I was having them as well. Can you hear me now, Cindy? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Cindy? Okay, I see you just muted yourself. I don't know. Can y'all hear me? Is it me or is it her? Rebecca, are you able to hear me? Could you type in the chat? Okay, so maybe it's Cindy having difficulties. I know my internet was acting weird. So we'll give Cindy a second. Cindy, can you hear me? All right, I just heard something. Let me see.
Hey, Tyrone, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now, Cindy. Yes.
Great.
And you can hear me?
I can. I'm so sorry. My computer the audio cut out. So we're doing it phone style.
Look, I don't know. Maybe it's just something going on. My Apple it was acting silly. That's why I got in late and I had to use my phone as well. So it's all right. That's fine. But we all good now. So when we first started, Cindy, I did not ask you before we came in, and I did not want to slaughter your name. I was asking, was it Sjoquist? But I may have had it wrong. So could you tell me the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Yes, it's Sjoquist.
Sjoquist. Okay. All right. Okay, Sjoquist. Okay, hopefully I do not forget that and mess it up.
That's okay. Cindy is great.
Okay, awesome. Parent Power Hour Live. And as I get us set up, you all, as everyone know, we always start with the connection question to get connected and learn a little bit about Cindy personally. We will get into her profession and a little bit afterwards. And so, y'all, weather's changed. It's chilly. We're stepping into we're into the harvest season, and we're getting ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that good stuff. My favorite time of the year. So I figure a great connection question for us today. And of course, family who's watching and join, please answer in the comments so we can share it with Cindy. What is your favorite thing to do around holiday time?
So it used to be cooking, but I got banned from making the food at my family's house on account of it being too spicy. I'm from small town Wisconsin, so the garlic salt got me nixed right away. I would definitely say it's helping my nieces wrap presents. So I have 3 nieces, twin 12-year-olds and a 2-year-old. And I've gotten to watch their styles of wrapping develop, and it's just hilarious and delightful every time. They try and play tricks on each other and do fancy things. And so that's my favorite.
Oh, that's awesome. So again, y'all, folks who are watching, as I share us and get us set up into all of our groups and get everything going for us, you all definitely are already here. Thank you for being here. Please share the live. Make your comments and tell us the same thing. What is your favorite thing around the holidays? I would say for me, let's see. Oh man, y'all know from previous. I love the holiday time. I love Christmas, especially Thanksgiving. But just this time, I think it's just the nature of family, just getting together. I think that's the most thing, being with family together, and just kind of like the spirit of the holidays being around. It seems like people are more friendlier around this time. Like when you're out, people speak a little bit more, and just I don't know. I love so much decorations and all that good stuff. But I did say one thing, Tyrone. So I guess just the spirit of of the holidays, and people seeming nicer and family oriented. That just sticks out to me the most, and everything. And so we'll stick with that. All right, y'all. Again, as I'm sharing, sorry, I'm looking because I'm getting that set up. You all, please definitely share your thoughts on your favorite holiday thing during this time of year. And thank you for those who are already joining us. Okay, Yaji, hello fam, that's here. Joanne, hey everyone, Michael Cheney, those who join us, let us know that. And as we step in, Cindy, field representative, tell us a bit about what a field representative for the union, what they do.
Yeah, so I like to think that my job has two parts. So it's contract enforcement and then advocacy. So contract enforcement is like all of the legalese and like, this is clear, black and white. The contract says one thing, that's either happening or it's not. So that looks like grievances, meetings with administrators, appeals, a lot of boring paperwork processes that comes into grievances. But I think the bulk of my work is advocacy. And that is for everything that doesn't fall in the contract. It's supporting members through FMLA applications and, disputes with their principal. How do we work through a PIP? That's a performance improvement plan. We have no contractual grounds in that, but our members still need that support. So that's the second part of our work. We represent not just teachers in our school buildings, but basically everybody that walks through those doors, except for our custodial and food service staff members and supervisors. Everybody else we represent: secretaries, paraeducators, early literacy tutors, related service providers, and of course our classroom teachers. So it's a big plate. I think I just looked, I currently represent 1,538 members. That's just my turf, my part of the world. I love every single one of them, and it is my goal to actually have a conversation with everyone. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, cool. I want to just take a moment and acknowledge some of the comments that we do have already. I'm just excited to be around extended family. It's only my daughters and I in Baltimore, but I have peeps all over the US and in Canada and Italy. Amazing. My favorite thing about the holidays are pretty lights. Also, recently I started doing a poem a day for the days of Advent with my kid. That is becoming a highlight and a way to make the most meaning of this time for me. Oh, that is amazing. That is so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
I love that one.
So, Cindy, you said you had 1,500 and some folks, right? That's just your part, which is a lot. So could you tell us what are some of the things that you are hearing from teachers now around this time? What's things that you're hearing from teachers now?
Yeah, I think the overarching and overwhelming theme is just burnout. Folks are tired, they are exhausted, and the hits just keep coming. It comes from one thing to the next to the next. It's another deliverable, it's an observation, and it never stops. So I hear a lot of just exhaustion, frustration, and then I think the hardest part right now is confusion. There's not a lot of concrete information being disseminated from North Avenue. Principals are left with so much autonomy, but also very little direction, and it's created chaos. I mean, my principals are in places where they're calling me for the first time ever, just wondering what to do. They're equally as exhausted, burnt out, and confused.
Yeah, wow. I could but only imagine. So we have definitely been hearing around here from folks and just in the streets with the field that we're in, what we do, that teachers have been leaving. Could you tell us some reasons why they are leaving? And I have a couple of other follow-ups with that from things that we've been hearing. So I don't know if you want me to throw them out there now, and you can kind of, answer them all, or should we go like one by one? Because it's all related to the teachers leaving question, and I can tell you kind of like what we've been hearing, and you can speak to those, speak to it that way. So all right, so that's all. I just go a couple
Let's do
of
it that
them.
way.
So again, the question is that we've been hearing that teachers are leaving. Why are they going? And what's the effect that the vaccine mandate has on that? And then also, what effect does the trauma that kids are bringing to school have on them as well? It's known that that's something we heard, and then I'll save the other two after you kind of, talk about this.
Yeah, so I think the second thing you mentioned, the trauma that kids are coming back with has an impact, at least more so than the vaccine mandate. So what I'll say is we haven't seen many educators to leave the field because of this mandate. In Baltimore City, we have over 90% of our educators that came in already vaccinated before this mandate was already rolled out. And then by and large, our members that weren't vaccinated aren't because of either a religious or a medical reason, and as such have been given an exemption. So we haven't seen much, many members lost because of the vaccine mandate. So I think that's really positive. I'll say, I don't personally know of anyone that's left over the mandate alone yet. I'll say that. The deadline for the vaccine to be administered was November 1st. We have not seen an escalated disciplinary action, but the district has threatened that they intend to go through with terminations by December the 13th. So we'll see what happens within the next month or so.
Okay, but definitely the traumas that the kids are bringing in, you've seen that have an effect on educators and what's going on with them leaving now.
Yes, but I don't think that that's why our educators are leaving either. The trauma in Baltimore City that our children face is unlike anything I've ever seen. I've worked in districts in Detroit, in Philadelphia, in Oregon, and Baltimore City just houses more systemic, deeper, and generational trauma than any of those cities.
Wow.
What I will say is that the isolation our kids have experienced nationally has led to an increase in behaviors, but our educators are prepared for these. I think we've seen an uptick in, classroom behaviors. We can manage that. We can get that back under control. There has been a surprising amount of students coming into schools that aren't toilet trained this year. So we're making some adjustments and making sure everybody gets their permission slip signed and things like that. But I don't think that that's why educators are leaving this year either. I think they're leaving because they're tired of being disrespected.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Thank you. And that's serious, right? Like that's real. Being not to be respected, and everything. And also, just before I go, I just wanted to point out, y'all, and I hope y'all listening. This is someone who've experienced the education field, and as she said, Philly, Detroit. Okay, who people compare Baltimore and Detroit and Philly a lot, and similarities in the communities, but to hear that Baltimore's children and the traumas are different than those, it just says a lot to me. And it's not shocking, right? But it is. Okay. But also, so to that, what effects does the new requirements and deadlines related to student learning plans have? How does that relate to, if that relate to maybe teachers leaving some also? And then just simply from your experience and everything, what is different about this school year that is making it so tough?
I think student learning plans are a perfect example of the disrespect that I was referencing. So, first of all, you didn't consult the educators in the building before you came up with this plan. The plan was developed by some consultation group from outside of the city that's never been in a Baltimore City public school a day in their lives. Then you didn't give educators any time to implement it. It's not like we took a PD day and just sat down with educators and said, take this time, get your student learning plans done. Our educators aren't even giving the planning periods they're required to by the contract now. So we certainly didn't give them any extra time. We're taking away the time they would have had to do it. And we're asking them to create this legally binding concrete document for a specific student for the entire year.
Mm.
Then there was no planning about this, no communication about this throughout the summer. This is something that could have been put on somebody's plate. It could have come out. We could have known, had more information. The principals didn't even know, so they feel rushed. There was no communication about this. Then they made the deadline disciplinable. So if you don't complete it, it's this harsh, like, now you're in trouble. You're failing as an educator. We need you on a performance improvement plan because of an unrealistic deadline for a plan that, and I think this is the piece that just gets to my core. Educators do student learning plans all day, every day. That's our role, is to work with kids on an individual level and get them where they need to be. The idea that this needs to be documented and outlined and unadjustable throughout the year just doesn't make sense to me. And it's a good example of how our educators are continuously disrespected. You didn't ask them about it. You didn't give them time to do it. You disciplined them when they couldn't get it done. And now you want them to buy into it?
Wow.
So I think that's a great example of the disrespect.
Wow. Listen, I can go on and on about the disrespect and the things that we have heard and everything, but I want to stick to script at least right now, because I will go off. Okay, seriously, because I mean, but seriously, no, as a parent, okay, and then an advocate and one who works, teachers are so important. Okay, and I don't think that they get the recognition, the pay, the respect, the anything that they are, that they deserve, that they are due. I just don't. So, and I hate to hear in many ways that they are disrespected and feel disrespected. And oh gosh, so I can just Lord, I can just go on and on. But also, so I wanna, is it true that they just moved deadlines back? And if so, what finally got through to them, you think, to move the deadlines back?
So some of the deadlines were adjusted. I'm sorry to laugh, but I'm laughing because one of the deadlines that was adjusted were grades, was what, I can't remember what it was, but it was Dr. Santelisa's made her announcement at like 6 p.m. and it was due the following day. So every educator had already done it. I think it just doesn't make sense to me. I did hear the deadlines have been extended. I think what finally pushed was a couple of things. One, the number of educators that just said that it couldn't be done. And two, the number of principals that finally stood up. We heard the new Pizzazza president speak at the school board a month ago, asking for some grace in these periods. And so to hear the Pizzazza, I guess, association to speak up and say, we need some support here too, I think really kind of hit home.
Wow. Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Admins and those who have finally, who did take a stand and stand up. And I don't want to seem like I'm attacking you all. I did say good first, so I don't want to backtrack. However, move faster. We need our teachers, and we need your support, and we need you all to be there and help us fight. And parents also. This is why it's so important for us to build relationships with teachers and help, because we need to be their backbones. We need to be able to step in and help and advocate for them when they're in positions that their back is against the wall and they can't do it. Right? Like, that's part of our role. Go ahead, Cindy, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, Tyrone, you had asked me what's different about this year, and I didn't answer. But one of the things that is different, and your appeal to the general community reminded me, we do not and cannot get substitutes to come to some of our schools this year. It's not only a challenge because we're you know, our students are being forced into, you know, either split classes where they're now half of their class goes with another class and half of it goes with a different class, or they are stuck with their teacher all day who's not getting a planning period now and just in the same classroom the whole entire day. They're not getting their, you know, resource time to go to music or their library time, and they're just stuck. So one of the pleas I would like to make is if anyone in the community or knows anybody or hears this plea and is looking for work right now, please apply to be a substitute with Baltimore City Public Schools. They're offering benefits. They've just increased the daily rate. We need you all. That would be a great way to support our educators in real time right now.
Okay. Could you, before I go to the next question, just following up from that, are you aware of or do you know what the requirements are for someone to be a substitute? And if you are, could you put that out there, at least let them know what you do know, you know, just in case if folks are wondering what it is. I know we talked about this, I don't know if it was on Tyrone's house or this one, but someone, because I know even Rebecca had, you know, was willing to do like a day a week at her kid's school to substitute and stuff like that, but there were certain things, you know, maybe barriers that had came up that were like, okay, this is a bit for her. So I know for other parents and folks who maybe, you know, have the time to do it, but it's like, you know, what can they look forward to hearing that this is what they need in order to be able to do it?
Yeah, so all that's required is a GED or high school diploma and the ability to pass a background check. The rates do increase with degree type. So the daily rate for an individual with a high school diploma, GED, and no credit is lesser. I believe it's $95 a day, and then that goes up as you have more advanced degrees. I will also say that if you are in a position that becomes a long-term substitute position, which is anything more than 10 consecutive days, that rate increases again.
Okay, awesome. So you all, there you go. That's just some information. You know, there, I think you have to pay for your own background check. And then also, do you need an official transcript that you know of? Because that's what someone was told.
I don't think you need an official transcript unless, no, I think an unofficial transcript will suffice for employment records.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, you all check it out. We just posted here. Let me pin the comment, you all. So pinned, here's where you go at to apply, to show if you want to step in and support if you at a time. We have it pinned on our page in the comment section, you all there. If you have any questions, you all, for Cindy, please send them in to us now so we can ask. But overall, Cindy, we know from a lot of teachers that they don't feel consulted on big decisions that they are in charge of carrying out. Does the union feel the same way about that? And then also, what do you think is needed to change this dynamic?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Educators feel unheard. I think, yes, the union feels that too. I will say we continue to insert ourselves, and I would ask our members to do the exact same thing. One great way to step up, just to make the appeal to our members and to the public, is that public school board meetings happen every other Tuesday. We've not had public comment filled up for over a year. Please come speak. Let the board know what's up. Tell them. You know, they sit there every week and all they hear from is Dr. Santelises about how great everything is going. They need to hear from you all. They need to hear what you're hearing on the streets, what you're experiencing when you bring your kids to school, when you see a teacher crying in the corner because she hasn't had a prep in 3 weeks. Like, they need to hear that. And from our educators, from my members, from our secretaries and our related service providers, they need to hear from you all.
Well, everyone go. I can speak on behalf of parents in the community in which we work, you know, that I've been around this stuff. And there's multiple problems with that. Okay. And of course we still want folks to go. And I know you say it's been over a year. But prior to that, like there's been many times where people have went to testify and are shut out, okay, or they're not able to be heard, time is cut if they're, you know, they don't feel like they're important, just whatever. There have been so many reasons and things that have happened to that. There are people out here who, you know, who want to go and who want to support, but if, again, the disrespect, if I'm going to come to spend time to talk and I think you only get what 3 minutes anyway, and then you cut me of my time, you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. So I mean, I think a lot, you know, around that, you know, just has to change, and just be better anyway. Is there retribution if teachers testify?
No, I've not seen, and I will say the instances where retaliation is very clear almost never happen. So by that I mean, you know, where I could draw a direct line from teacher spoke at school board meeting to teachers' evaluations all of a sudden started to fall. That very rarely happens in city schools. It's way more nuanced if we see retaliation. And I've never seen anyone retaliated against for speaking at a school board meeting.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of retaliation in my day.
Okay.
Never for a school board meeting.
And not for school board meeting. Okay. So there you go. But just again, with some of the stories that I've heard and that we've heard, I could understand, because of the retaliation, what's happened, I could understand why teachers would be nervous to go, because it's just like almost putting yourself out there, you know what I'm saying, to say it. And though we should be able to, right? Educators should definitely be able to go and speak up and speak out and say, because they have hands-on experience. And that would be the best people to hear from and talk to about what's going on. But we've heard from so many different educators. And I think it was in 2008, if I'm not mistaken, when we we surveyed teachers and parents and everything, and that's what we were hearing a lot from teachers, like, you know, we can't say with so much because they were literally scared for their job, scared to be, you know, retaliated against it. So, you know, I understand, but thank you for saying that, and you've been doing this for a while, you all. This is the field rep. So, and as she said, she's seen a lot of retaliation, but not from the school board. So maybe folks should think about definitely also going to school board meetings, or if you can, if you have the time. I'm sure y'all swamped, and that's another thing. When they do have the meetings on Tuesdays, people are like probably still swamped with regular work and everything. So I don't know, we had to figure out something. But anyway, what is the most important thing you would like to tell teachers about their rights?
Your contract still exists, and not just for my teachers, but for my paras, my secretaries, my related service providers. You're still entitled to those things. I know it's tough to make the lines, the letter of the law work these days, but you are entitled to them. We fought through so many tougher fights to get this contract. We can enforce it. You can enforce it. And I'll say, especially for our paraeducators right now, our teachers as well, you do not have to substitute. This is my I tell people that my middle name is Stop Subbin, so my full name is Cindy Stop Subbin Sjoquist. You're not a substitute. We got to force the district to get actual qualified substitutes in here so that you all can do the job that you're entitled to do, the way that you need to do it. And so for our paraeducators, I know they want to pull you in every single classroom every time somebody calls out, but you're needed in the classroom that you're in. You love those babies. That's why you're here. You want to work with your students in their PAL program and see their advancement when they work the washing machine. There's no reason for you all to be pulled from that every single day.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You have the right to say
no. Thank you, Heidi. I see all your comments. So to just kind of summarize some of it up. Okay, what would you say to people that don't feel heard at school board meetings, since they don't talk about testimony or respond to your testimony in any way? And how do you know if you are actually making an impact or being heard without, because you don't get a response or anything that you don't hear?
Now, I know that's always so frustrating and awkward too. Every time I speak and they just kind of stare at you and don't even say thank you. I hate it. But I will say you're being heard. Even if they don't, say it or make a face or cut their eyes. When we have conversations, that's the first thing that comes up. What was that parent talking about? What was that teacher talking about? Which school is this? Are we addressing this? Is this a systemic issue? And it's never like what the BTU presented or what Pizzazza presented. It's the first thing is always, do you, the BTU know what that one teacher was speaking about? They hear you all.
Okay. They just don't tell us.
Yeah, no, they just,
us.
I mean, I'm just happy that they put their videos on at this point.
I like you, Holly. That's good. Welcome to those. I see we have more folks falling in and everything. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Just to kind of give a recap and everything, earlier we started off, our check-in question was, what do you like most to do around the holiday time, around this time of year? So you can all definitely chime in with that. If you have any questions for Cindy, please share them, you all. She is a union rep for our educators. We have many teachers who watch us and join us, and many parents who have shared many concerns for educators and have questions and stuff like that about how educators contracts work and how things work for them. So if you have questions, definitely now is a good time to send in those questions and ask those questions now. Cindy also mentioned that it would be super helpful for parents and community members, those who would like to help and support right now, that they need substitute teachers and that they are hiring for substitute teachers. So at the bottom of the comment section, you all that are watching the live stream, we have a link there that you can click if you'd like to apply and find out. And we also did find out also that an unofficial transcript should work for this. And then you need a GED and a high school diploma and be able to pass a background check. So if you are willing to and would like to, please check that out and see if you can, help out there. Okay. Why can't Cindy? So this is I think this is a tough one. I hope you can give us an answer, but we'll see. Why can't the union fight against class sizes?
It's a matter of state law. So this has been something I couldn't tell you when it passed, but the current law in the state of Maryland says that we cannot negotiate class size. Some districts have chosen to open that up as a part of a negotiable topic, but they don't have to. There are certain categories about what is and isn't negotiable in a working condition in a school system. And this is one that Baltimore City does not have to and will not engage with us on. Wow. So we have been trying to change the law. That's the best way to be able to get us to be able to negotiate class sizes. And it can happen. We have had legislative support in the past.
Okay. So I just seen you took my thought right out of my head, Yaji, that this is definitely something that we need to take to our next governor. Gubernatorial election is coming up. So this is what needs to be a part of the platform from the people for the next governor about classroom sizes and everything. So let's definitely keep that in mind and push that, because if there is something that is in law and written that they can't, then of course, we can't expect them to. But we know for sure that I couldn't imagine not one teacher that would object to smaller class, to smaller sizes in their class, nor one parent, nor one, I would hope that an admin or anyone else, about it wouldn't either. Some people, okay, let me see, I'm gonna make sure I'm correct seeing this question right. Some people want to go back but are scared. Are teachers unsafe right now, or is this media hype?
So I'm not sure what we mean by our schools are
And I'm sorry, go
unsafe
back
right
to
now.
teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go back to teaching. I just said right there.
Got it. So I don't think our schools are any more or less safe than they ever were, especially in terms of COVID protocol. I think we're doing really well. Of course, I want to pick every single fight with the district every single time they don't do something that exactly aligns with the protocol. But compared to what other districts are doing in the nationwide, Baltimore is doing a very good job with COVID protocols. So we do weekly testing for all students and unvaccinated staff. Vaccinated staff are allowed to participate in those pool tests. We then do follow-up and contact tracing for any pools that identify as positive. There are quarantine measures. People are very surprisingly good at wearing their masks. We've got a couple issues here and there, but administrators are doing a good job of like at least trying to be on it from what I've seen. So no, I don't think our schools are unsafe, or at least not any less safe because of the pandemic.
Right. Okay, cool. We got that. I will definitely say though to that we have heard a bit of a difference, honestly. When it comes from teachers, students, and all that are deaf, especially when it comes down to the mask thing. It's like people have been saying that like they spend majority of their day saying, pull up your mask, keep your mask up, please wear a mask, or do this. And that's become, a huge headache for a lot of people. And it's taken a lot of instructional time away because teachers have to really monitor that as well with all these students and take time away from saying that. So we have definitely heard that one a whole lot.
And I'll say, just to be honest and candid with you all, that it looks very different at different schools. And where the administrator takes the guidance and protocols seriously, the students take the guidance and protocols seriously because they know there's going to be consequences.
Got you. Makes sense. So yeah, I was definitely going to go to exit. This is good. And you talked about parents and helping out with substituting. Could you talk a bit more about the gaps that teachers are seeing and how parents can help? And from your understanding, are parents allowed in buildings? Sorry.
Parents are, but not in the same way that they were, in the past, where you just kind of come in and be in there for the day, supporting the classroom, things like that. But I'm sure there are spaces for parents to still be in the building, and I would encourage you to work with the supervisor of that building to figure out how they're handling it. The spaces where I'm really seeing the gaps for our educators, and I think this just comes from years and years in disinvestment in the arts. So what we're really seeing is the loss now, after years and years of this, of our resource teachers, music, art, gym. PE is required by state law, but the others aren't, or are only required for such a short amount of time that they've eliminated so many of these positions. And now we don't have the coverage for our, regular classroom teachers. They put so much money into English, math, because those are the testing subjects, that we don't have the staff to support the arts or, other instruction. So there's no one to give the teachers of the core subjects any break. And I think, the loss of the arts is just tragic in and of itself, but it's really coming to roost now.
So specifically, I know teachers, parents aren't able to necessarily do it, especially if they're not trained there. From what you've heard from teachers or what just in your experience, is there anything else during this time with the limits that I mean, I know you say there's some supervisors we need to reach out to find out about. I can definitely tell you also my experience and then other parents' experiences. Someone is also common and no, you can't get into school, and we've heard that a lot. You know, if we get past that, what else is it do you see or that you've heard may have heard from some teachers that parents, you know, may can do to help out or support teachers, and which ways and how?
I do know that teachers would love some sanitizing wipes, if that's something. Hmm, that's a tough one for me, and you all have to forgive me. I don't do much work with the community, so I haven't really spent much time thinking about how you all could best support.
Okay. Okay. No problem. No, listen, it's fine. You gave something already, and that was the substitute, right? And
Yep.
so if that's what you know, that's fine. We don't expect for anyone to come on. We are a tough bunch, but we're also an understanding bunch here, right? So
All right.
and you definitely told us already that we could help out with substitute and gave a little information so people have knowledge for that. So we get that and understand, you know, understand and appreciate that. We just always we definitely throw that question out to anyone who come on, because the reality is there are many of parents who want to help, right, and try to help, but they are shut out. Okay,
Mhm.
so when we get someone else on who's connected, and you who are connected to teachers, you know what I mean, if you knew, you know what I mean, that's why we ask, even when teachers come, we'll ask them, because if there were ways of getting around admin and other people, you know what I mean, who were doing some stuff, then parents would do it. You know what I'm saying? And they want to
Yeah.
step in and absolutely help. But again, we are shut out in every which way, from the district, from schools, you know, in a lot of ways, parents are shut out, and there are parents who definitely want to help. So, you know, that's why we put it out there too. I don't know if you would know this, but someone did ask how young ones ages 5 to 11, yes, how could young students 5 to 11 get vaccinated, and where are those shots happening? I'm not sure if you would know that.
I don't actually know. I did hear there were going to be vaccine clinics, so I would keep
Okay,
an eye out for those, but I haven't heard dates yet. Sorry.
got you. No problem. No, we won't jump on anyone, y'all. That's right. We will definitely try not to do that unless they come with something else.
Well, I think I'm coming right, but I'm also from Detroit, so.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. We appreciate, so true, Tyrone. We are not, you definitely have some thank you for being here though. So people definitely thank you for your taking time out to be here with us and talking to us and doing Dolly laughing and doing what you do. Because again, we definitely support teachers, and we need more folks you know, in your position to support. Maybe it would help if you didn't have to have 1,500 by yourself, you know, and you said you had to talk to them individually. So that could be a job all in itself, just connecting with 1,500 people, you know, and talking to them along with their schedule. So, you know, if there was something else that probably could help um out with that. But family and folks who are here, again, if you have any questions for Cindy, definitely spill them in, bring them into us before our time is up, because we are definitely approaching the last couple of minutes of our show. And as we are there, before we got, definitely want to thank you, Cindy, for coming. And is there, and just while you have the floor, the opportunity, is there anything that you know, again, as in your position and with your experience, that you would like for either educators or parents or any stakeholder to know, that you would like to put out there from you and your point of view, and from, you know what I'm saying, just from where you sit? Not even, matter of fact, let's take away your job title. Just Cindy as a person, as a human, and with Cindy's experience and working in different, you know, jurisdictions and community, you know, places and stuff like that. What is it that you want to say and speak to people?
You know, I was going to give you this canned answer about how we're all going through it, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say this: take your time, take your sick leave, take your personal leave, take rest, find respite. That's what I'll say to you. We spent 100 years making sure that you all could have paid sick leave as workers in this nation. You've got it. Take it. Take every single one of the 13, 15, 10 days you get this year. Take your mental health days. Sit in the bed, drink a tea, eat a can of soup. I don't care. Read a book, but please, please take your time. Don't worry about the people that have to cover for you. Don't look at your email. They'll be fine. Nobody's thinking about you when they call out sick. Don't think about them. You need it for you, because if you're not 100% for our kids, they're going to know it. It's going to bring them down, and they're going to bring you down. Get yourself right. Take your time. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I actually love that. Seriously. And glad that you said that, and encourage people to do that. I think that is definitely probably one thing. I mean, that's not one thing, but that probably stops people from taking their time and taking that self-care to them, because they're like, wow, what's going to happen if I do, knowing the condition that we're in. But the reality of it is, and everyone here knows that, I say that if our teachers are not taken care of, or if our teachers get burnt out, or if our teachers are, only 75% in it, it's going to reflect on our babies. Yep. That's what our kids going to get. We can't expect for our teachers to give 100 if they don't have 100 to give. And you definitely can't expect for our kids to receive 100 if that's not what they're getting, is 100. So definitely, by all means necessary, please take care of yourselves to the best of your ability. And teachers who are watching, you already know how we are. If there is something else in the space that you see, that parents can help out with the restrictions and barriers there, let us know. We will try our best to get it out, as we do have a team of parents who are mentors to other parents, and we're trying to connect with other parents and more parents. So let us know, Cindy, if you have teachers who may be connected to parents and would like to know, well, how can I get involved with parents, and I want to learn more about parent work, send them our way. Let them know. Tell the teachers to connect with us. Tell the parents to connect with us in any way, and we will definitely try to train them, mentor them, help them out to get them involved in any way that we possibly can. Someone said that their daughter's school said that they have a vaccine clinic on Monday, and gave a couple of other dates. So schools could possibly be where these clinics are taking place at for the kids of the age 5 to 11. So definitely take a moment to check with your schools and see. We can do some, research and look, and if we find information, we'll post it on our Teachers Democracy Project Facebook page, so that you all can see it as well if we find it. Let me see. I have another thing. Okay, here we go. I find it hard to balance real concerns about my kid and being worried about teacher stress. I don't want to keep saying what she is not doing right, but I had to send 3 emails in the last week with stuff that was not right. How can we be thoughtful and advocate for our kids?
No, it's a tough balance. You have to be your kid's biggest advocate. And then also, our educators are tapped right now. I bet they are making mistakes left, right, and the third. All I would ask you, parents, please be gracious with my educators. They're trying. Even if it doesn't seem like it, even if it seems like they are just done and checked out, I promise you, they're here for your kids. They want your babies to do well. Most of us. And I would just ask you for some grace.
Okay. Appreciate that. For me personally, I respect you, and I have a lot of respect for you. And from it earlier, you shared a lot, but you just cleaned up something for me that was getting ready to take me somewhere. But you said it. You said most of us, because I do believe that most teachers and folks who are here definitely are here for the caring of the kids and all of that stuff. But I also think there are some who may have thought it was going to be different than what it was, the experience. And so they lost kind of that, that desire for it, now they just kind of stuck there. So I don't think we get the same from them, but the majority of people who are teachers who are there, I definitely believe that. But there are some who
are in it for the 5 years in tuition reimbursement. I know it. I'm not blind. There's no, I mean, yes, I can't say that all of us are here for the right reasons, but I think we all know who is, and that they'll stay. They'll be the ones that are here 6 years from now.
And yeah, 6 years actually, yeah, right. And for the long haul. Thank you so much. Okay, Stephanie, just said to check with the Baltimore Health Department for where to get vaccinated at under 12. Thank you, Stephanie, for saying that and putting that out there, you all. Thank you, Cindy, for being here again, taking the time to be here. Thank you for what you do. We have, like I said, folks who are thanking you also for being here and for what you do. You are definitely welcome back. I'm pretty sure we'll reach back out to you again. We would love to have you back. We appreciate your smiling, your bubbly personality, and for being here, and for folks and everyone. Yep, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Well, not thank me. I know you're saying thanks, Cindy, too, but I just read it. Thank you for the likes and the hearts that are coming up. Everyone, of course, continue to do that. Y'all share this live posting with other educators, with other parents and other folks. Again, do not forget about the link for substitute teaching. If you have the time and you would like to do that, that is definitely something. Thanks again, Cindy. This is, I've thanked you for me, but I'm thanking you for the thanks also that I see come up as well.
I'll keep taking them. I don't care who they're from.
That's right. So yeah, definitely. So check that out about the subbing. If you have the availability, right? And if you can use the extra money and everything. And as she said, there seem like there's various levels in which you can, go in and get paid. So if you just have like a high school diploma and you can pass a background check, there is still work for you also. And then if you have a degree, you can probably make a bit more money at doing it now. So definitely check it out. And of course, we'll be back here on Thursdays, on this Thursday for Tyrone's house. So come and join us. Excuse me for last week. I can share it with y'all because y'all are family. So I had a little incident happen. I had to go to the ER and everything. So that's why we weren't on Thursday, and it was just a quick situation that happened, and we didn't really have room to check in with you all and tell you all that we wouldn't be on or anything like that. So please excuse us for that, but we will be here Thursday prompt and on time, and then back here at Parent Power Hour on Monday. So, oh no, you okay? I am. Look at me, I'm fine now.
Back in action.
Okay. So thank y'all for being here again. We love y'all. Continue to share the live, and we will see you all on next week. Thank you.